So, hello everyone, and welcome to this episode of ReCIRCLE by TextSPACE, a special series where in every episode we'll bring together thought leaders, technology pioneers, brand representatives, and industry experts to share the real insights and best practices in textile circularity. This series is powered by TextSPACE today, one of the leading textile and apparel media platforms focused on sustainability, circularity, and digitalization. So, the global textile industry still mostly runs on a take-make-disposal system, producing about 92 million tons of waste every year, while less than 1% is recycled into new clothing. That's a huge environmental and economic loss. But the good news is the industry is now at a turning point where recycling is no longer a niche practice, but it's becoming a part of the mainstream textile production. In Europe, the new Extended Producer Responsibility (EPR) policy under the Waste Framework Directive is pushing brands to take responsibility of their products' entire life cycle. So, the brands have several options now, like designing longer lasting garments, using more recycled content, and encouraging repair and reuse. So, within the next 30 months, every EU country will have to implement its own EPR system, which will significantly boost recycling practices. And that's exactly what we are here to talk about today. This session brings together an incredible panel of experts covering most of the recycling supply chain, from waste sorting and digital traceability to mechanical and chemical recycling options, all the way to recycled yarn production. We will explore how technology is tackling challenges like fiber blends and making fiber to fiber recycling both scalable and commercially viable. By the end of this session, we will gain practical insights from our industry experts. So now I would like to move on to Mr. Nixon, sir. Mr. Nixon, sir, is representative of Delacroix and Villani and executive director of RH Corporation. RH Corporation has a vision of introducing textile machineries, and they are trying to introduce recycling as a practice and in the mainstream textile sector. We know that mechanical recycling faces limits, particularly with blended materials and fiber strength. So, my question to sir is, what specific advancements have your machines introduced to maximum fiber length retention and consistency when processing diverse textile waste?
Thank you, Mr. Najmus Sakib. It's a pleasure to discuss in the first TextSPACE episode, and with that very much important topics, closing in the loop, innovation in textile recycling. Globally, we are moving forward with the new challenges, and this is the burning point. And good afternoon, assalamu alaikum, all the participants today and who are listening to us today. It's a nice question, starting with the mechanical recyclings. You're absolutely right. Particularly whenever it is dealing with the blended textile waste and retaining fiber length during the opening, tearing, as an inconsistent shorting, aggressive shearing, and poor blending control, often a very wet results, and that produce a very short, dusty fiber, which is basically suitable for the non-ovens. In fact, this industry has been grown up 100 years back and mainly focusing on the non-oven and technical textile. So what about the mechanical recycling right this moment, globally movement, that has been aimed to make the non-oven and as well as that short stubble and fiber, because what we know that garbage in and garbage out. The quality of garbage depends on the output of the final results. In such a case, we are from RH Corporation. You have nicely introduced us. Really, thank you very much for that. We are not only partnering that Delacroix and Villani here in Bangladesh, we are also been partnered with some other companies like the shorting systems. We are providing support from the Valven, is a French company. We are giving the support for cutting edge, special type of cutting from the period. It's a Belgium company. On top, we have been collaborating with few more companies in Europe, like Infinited Fiber, who are producing the chemical-based products, chemical recycling products. We have been partnering with S.p.a. We have been partnering for Dagobert. They're producing a mechanical fiber, Francois, and a few more. we are also supporting the machinery equipments as well as the technical support. So whenever we are focusing and advising to the industry, we have been very much keen on addressing the challenges what basically you are mentioning here. The improving better fiber retention and consistency is the main challenges, and as well as the removing the contaminations. All the participants, I know that they are very well known about the problem of the recycling industry, especially in the mechanical recycling industry. But as we informed you earlier, that we are not only supplying the machineries, we are giving that technological support. We are customize the machine layout based on their outcomes. It means based on their requirements. And we are working what the feed materials basically they use. And especially we have been making our layout and machine designing and process layout based on their feed materials, as I saw. It could be post-consumable waste or it could be a pre-consumable industrial waste. So whenever we have been giving the process, we are emphasizing to sorting it perfectly. So in the Valven, we have been introducing in the market to the AI-based automation sorting systems that give you a 95% accuracy, and that give you that can separate the color-wise and yarn composition-wise feedstocks. After that, we are recommending to use a very precision cutting and cross-cutting to a homogeneous cutting that is from the period, and this is one of the world's best cutting systems from the Belgium. So in these double cutting systems can ensure that each pieces in a uniform sizes, helping maintain the stable fiber length and reducing the uneven load during the openings. As you know that during the opening, it takes a huge energy consumption. So, and the fiber lengths also depend on the cutting of the each pieces. Mostly in Bangladesh, we have found that nobody is going to address that two areas really till now. After that, whenever we are giving the line for the Dilorco and Villani, we have always recommended to take their blending box. Blending box is a homogeneous mixing of all cut pieces and integrated with the moisture and emulsion spraying system for pre-open the fiber right from the first shading line. In these systems, it will keep 8 to 10 hours of the cutting pieces, mixing, buffering, and continuously supply to the feeding lines. Then after like other machineries like in the cycling line, like other competitors, basically they're giving their drum size is 944 in a traditional way, but our drum size is 1240 mm. The bigger drum size basically ensure you to less friction, more number of pins, and it will give you less RPM, so that the energy consumption is less. As the friction is less, there is safety ensured for the fire hazards. On top, these machines we have been provided from the dealer and Villani have this new advanced system that can reject the GPR buttons and hard contaminated materials automatically from the every drum, every tearing line. So why it helps? Because this sort of hard materials is the main culprit for creating the fire, and as well as it create a huge pressure in the drumming lines. As you know, the pin's alignment is very important, and pin should be very much sharp. In Bangladesh, in recent practice, we have found that many companies are not addressing that issues. And we have been giving support for the proper pins. We are a TextPin company based on Turkey. They have been 30 years experience on pin making. And whenever we visit most of the factories in Bangladesh, we have found there are a lot of issues to be addressed in the pin. It destroys a lot of fibers. So we have been giving the suggestions how to do it better way and what should be the ideal cases. As we are getting all the knowledges from our experts from the Europe, because we have been, as I tell earlier, that we have been collaborating with some other fiber manufacturing companies, Francis, Dagobert. So we are getting their knowledges, and we are sharing these knowledges to skill development or whoever having the problem of technical knowledge. We are giving this sort of knowledge sharing initiatives from RH Corporation. We have some more advanced features like that. In the end of the process time, we are requiring a pre-carding system. It's a double draining, it's a carding system. So it will open your fiber very homogeneously. And there was in craft CS card wires and up to 9 adjustable opening points. So that can help really for a precision finisher. So whenever we are opening with the system, we have been observed in other countries in the same machine, same field material, we are getting a higher length of fiber, as well as the strength is very good compared to others. And not only that, this sort of arrangement can give you a little bit relief on safety enhancement and automation. So all honest, I can say you, but in that case, what I basically required from my aspects, that we should be very careful from the designing stage of the fabric, because whenever we are thinking that we have to use a fiber, so it have to be think from the very beginning what the end purpose of that uses. If we are making the garments, so where we will use this fiber? So that is very important. And in our recent study, basically we have been working with some factories in Bangladesh. We have taken some sort of fiber from our partner from France, and we make different types of yarn. Say the black, we are mixing with that a long staple black man-made fiber. Say it is a 50% we are using the ReCIRCLE and 50% dope dyed black. And we are not going for any dye. And we make a fabric with a GSM of 140, 160 single jersey. It's a 50-50 polyester cotton, all are recycled. And that give you a enormous less carbon footprint in the in total. We have found that 72% carbon emission has been less compared to the regular production, and 99% water saving, because there is no water requirements in the sole processes. So that I also mentioned that we have to design how to use it. We can use it as a yarn dye, we can use it as a fiber to dye Milan's techniques, we can use it as a solid dye, but mixing with the other portions in solid content, either in the fiber dye form or dope dye form. So that will give you a very much leverage for making a very nice fabrics. Good hand finish is very good, but you have to design it from the very beginning.
Okay,
Thank
sir.
you, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. So we get it. So if we are designing a recycling plant, so we should keep in mind the end product, right, sir?
You're absolutely right.
Okay. So now I would like to go to Mr. Sabri sir from Erca, that we know that chemical treatments are vital for preparing and finishing recycled fibers. So how do your solutions specifically address challenges like non-uniform color, dye affinity, or the need to remove residual impurities from fibers derived from complex waste streams?
Hello, Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for inviting me in here. Even my contribution is today is focused on our experience as a chemical company in the production of textile auxiliaries derived from recycled raw materials. So our initial idea was simple, is to develop new range of chemicals by recycling vegetable wastes. This initiative was designed to achieve two main goals. First one is to significantly reduce our carbon footprint, because we are using different kind of oils, like olein from palm oils. We use it in producing product for pretreatment. We use palm oil and castor oil to produce auxiliaries for dyeing. And we use also stearin from palm oils to produce finishing products. So we truly reduced our CO2 emission by substituting these raw materials, fresh oils, with used cooking oil. The second is to enable our customers to treat their articles, especially those made from recycled materials, with truly sustainable chemicals, produced starting from recycled materials themselves. During this process, we started with the product as a leveling agent for the polyester. And this product is permitting to save 72% in CO2 emission compared to our standard product. This is also during all this process and development with our customers, we noted the high level of the performance of this product in treating also recycled polyester. So compared to our standard products, it is ensuring high level of the levelness on either standard fibers as well as recycled fibers. We are not into the chemical treatment for recycled fibers, but our contribution is to present a solution how to treat recycled fibers using recycled auxiliaries. So this is what we are specialized in. We use the vegetable cooking oil. We faced a lot of challenges also in producing these chemicals. One of them is the residual of acrylamide in the cooking oil, and we fixed this problem by finding laboratories in Germany to analyze these residues. Second is how to find reliable supplier of raw material as in the cooking oil to produce our product, and certifications when we produce the product, how to certify the product, because test of environmental like toxicology takes a long time to be finished. But at the end, we produce products that are certified Blue Sign, they are ZDHC and GOTS, and we permit our customers to treat their recycled fibers with these chemicals.
Okay.
These products, it's called ReCIRCLE, Recycled Vegetable Cooking Oil. We introduced them in the BAT as a BAT, best available techniques. It's a document from Parliament European Community to the best product was ensure high level of environmental protection.
Okay, so Erca S.p.a. is actually providing ReCIRCLE, which is recycle auxiliaries, right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
So I would like to go to Mr. Rizvan Hasan, Country Head, Bangladesh Head Reverse Resources. So Bangladesh Head Reverse Resources. Reverse Resources is a SaaS platform, and it is offering digitalization, or I would say that it is working to digitize, connect, scale, and global textile to textile recycling. So my question is to him that how critical is digitalization in creating circular textile economy? And specifically, how does mapping and tracing post-industrial or post-consumer waste provide a competitive and sustainable edge for manufacturers and recyclers according to buyers' requirements?
Thank you. Thank you very much for inviting me here, and thank you. It's a good and interesting question. So when we talk about circular economy, we often talk about recycling, waste reduction, or sustainable design. But in reality, the foundation of circularity is information. Knowing exactly that what's happening to materials and where they move across the value chain. That's what the circularity is. So that's where digitization becomes absolutely critical. It's not just some fancy word. It's the engine that connects all players, in the system: manufacturer, waste handler, recycler, brands, and the policymakers as well. To get to your question, if I give that what challenges everyone is facing and what solution can digitalization give, especially based on waste mapping, waste checking, this kind of thing. For example, like how Nixon Bhai explained that when he is working with mechanical recycling, in mechanical recycling, whatever is input, that is exactly the same output. So if your input is, for example, 100% cotton, your output is 100% cotton as well. So now, how do you know that the wastes you are having, they are 100% cotton? Because the waste you are having are in small fabric cut pieces form, and most of them are all mixed up and everything. So in traditionally what's happening is from the factory, these waste cut pieces, fabric cut pieces, post-industrial waste that is being generated in the cutting room, that goes to waste handlers. In the waste handlers, there are lots of workers. They touch it with hand. They try to understand that what can be the composition is. I know there are many technologies now, X-ray technologies, infrared technologies, and other technologies, but still that's very limited in Bangladesh. And even though with all the technologies, you cannot find out that what's the exact composition is. So generally, what do? Generally, we check the composition of this wastage by touch of the hand, that these workers, they touch the cutting sample, the cutting pieces, and they try to understand, okay, maybe this is cotton, maybe this is polyester, maybe this is that kind of composition. And of course, you test in sample. Now, sample testing in waste, it's very vague. For example, in 500 kgs, you decided, hey, let's test a sample. Let's test 5 kgs. And then you take this 5 kg and send to any laboratory. Now you have sent 5 kg from 500 kg, but this laboratory, maybe they have received 70 small pieces. Now from these 70 small pieces, they will test 3 pieces. And from these 3 pieces, they will declare that, okay, the total composition of this lot is maybe that. We have numerous cases where recyclers, fabric makers, those made their fabric with recycled yarn, they came to us and informed that their fabric got rejected. Why? Because when they are exporting this and brand is checking composition, different garments are showing different kinds of composition. Well, little bit tolerance you will have when you are working with recycled materials, but if you cannot declare even that what is your composition and what the composition will be on the next garment, then it's a mess. So to solve this, how can you solve? With testing, you cannot solve this. To solve this, you need to come to digitalization. From brands, they will confirm in a digital platform, and that platform must be global, must be neutral. So they will confirm in a platform that, hey, I have ordered that factory, maybe 5,000 pieces. And from that platform, that factory will give entry that, hey, I have generated waste of blue color cotton, maybe 100 kgs. And from there, then another waste handler who will suit the price and who will suit the location, maybe they can buy it from there, and they will say that, hey, okay, I can buy it. And then from recyclers, they can buy it from there. So it's all tracked and it's all 100% cotton because brand then ordered the 100% cotton there. And how it connects everyone is, for example, all the compositions you cannot process in Bangladesh. So some recyclers are abroad. In fact, at this moment, Bangladesh can only process 15% of wastage of the total generation what Bangladesh does. So the 85% is going abroad or going to downcycling. Even in Bangladeshi recyclers. For example, if any brand have ordered any local recyclers that, hey, I need blue color, 100% cotton in my next season. How do that recycler knows that where is in which factory there is this blue color 100% cotton. He doesn't know. So this is why you need to bring everything in a digital platform so this recycler can search. Also, again, in the same way, maybe a recycler, generally when it's chemical-based recycler, they need lots of quantity. But the waste in one factory doesn't generate all this quantity. So maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 factories, all of their materials need to bring in one warehouse. That time our waste handler partners help us. They bring from all these factories and accumulate in their warehouse. Now, how they know that where has these materials come? Also, imagine a pencil. When you need a certain amount of pencil, you can order the pencil and you can uh, improvise the supply chain based on the raw materials. But the waste doesn't work like that. If you have recycling order, or not, the waste will generate on its own pace. You cannot generate waste just by giving orders, right? So your waste are being generated without even being ordered. So these waste needs to be stored with proper digital information. This is how when there will be new orders, you will know that where to find them. And also at this moment, Reverse Resources is working with 70 brands. And in many brands, we are teaching them like this, that look at the data, see which wastage you generate mainly, which colors are not being sold, they are already in the store. Maybe you can do one collection just so that we can sell this type of fibers. As it will be a great benefit for Bangladesh as well. So we are not sitting on the bunch of a particular waste, and it's good for the brands as well that they can make a recycling corner in their showroom, and they will have only limited a capsule collection. And also, there are lots of regulations coming that you already said, ESPR, EPR, DPP, CS, Triple D, all these regulations will make sure that brands take care that what wastage has been generated because of the orders, they have been taken care of. And when brands get pressure, what will they do? They will check with their supply chain, and the manufacturers will get the pressure, waste handlers and recyclers as well. So bringing everyone in the digital platform and it's tracking the wastage itself. So this is how we ensure that everyone gets each other's data and the waste is utilized in its full potential. So I think like this answers your question. But if you have any more query, you can ask me for sure.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Rizwan Hasan. We get the point that you are actually accumulating the datas and providing the datas to whoever, I would say, the recyclers or the manufacturers or the brands to design their supply chain and from where they will get the composition. And you had said that by testing, it is very hard to find out the composition of the materials. So recyclers will have a benefit with the data that they will find this composition of this color in that factory. So digitalization, I would say that this is the most critical part of the recycling.
Yes, you are right. And also, this needs to be emphasized that this digital platform should be transparent, should be neutral, should be international. So, recyclers from every country, manufacturers from every country, waste handlers from every country can trust this and will join here. Otherwise, if it's any local platform, maybe only that recyclers or only that factories will come, but other recyclers from other countries may not come. And also, if it's an international platform, then the data is secure. Otherwise, if it's owned by any country where you have your own brands or where you have your own garments manufacturers, maybe one can utilize this data better than others, or maybe someone can pressure to change the data or to have more data. But if it's an international and if it's from such a country, for example, because I'm working in Reverse Resources, so Reverse Resources is originated in Estonia, where there are no brands and there are no manufacturers, at least for the Bangladesh. So it's in a neutral zone. So of course, a digital platform should be transparent itself as well.
Yeah, I get your point that we need to protect that data as well, and we need to prevent the manipulation of those data. Otherwise,
Yes, sir.
someone can manipulate it for its own benefit, right? Okay, thank
Yeah,
you, sir.
thank
So
you.
I would like to now move to Ibrahim Sajib, sir, Chairman, ReCIRCLE Raw Limited. ReCIRCLE Raw Limited is basically a sorting company. They do the sorting. So my question is to him that Nixon sir has said that if garbage in, garbage out. So the quality of the input is everything in recycling. So what is the biggest non-technical hurdle, I would say, in logistics, sorting, infrastructure or regulation currently limiting the pure high volume supply of textile waste?
Thank you, Mr. Sakib, for inviting Recycle Raw today. Assalamu alaikum. So, as Sakib said, we are a textile and garment waste sorting company. And in this area, we have been working for last 10 years. We are based in Narayanganj, and currently we are working with more than 30 recyclers around the world. And in an average, we are selling more than 2,000 sorting company, but they don't want to know about the non-technical issues. So we have a lot of non-technical issues for ensuring the qualityful material. I cannot pinpoint for a particular space or particular point that which make us which give us the hurdle. There are a lot of issues, so I want to mention a couple of them here. So one is already Mr. Rizvan described something about that. That is, we have lack of pre-sorting. I mean, industry cannot expect a very quality material only from a sorting company. It is very tough when what we see in conventional way, factory input in a bag, multiple color and multiple composition at a time. So this is very tough when we have to serve our recycler very precisely. A single piece or 1 kilogram non-conform material can destroy a completely big lot. I mean, five-ton lot or 10-ton lot. So one pieces or two pieces poly and non-conform material is very, very harmful for the entire process. So we think we need a pre-sorting from the factory, and which is not too tough. Yes, reverse resources is working from very beginning of their journey, and factory only if factory cooperate with this industry. I mean, they need to separate their material from cutting table only, which ensure that the single bag will contain a single color and single composition only. Then the rest of work will be much easier for a sorting company. But I want to mention again that when you were telling about the pure and very high quality input. So for ensuring pure and very high quality input, factory has also a responsibility or have a chance to cooperate in this process. And another thing is the infrastructure facility for a sorting company in our country context. I mean, in context of Bangladesh, setting up a sorting company or sorting facility is not easy because we are not a comfortable neighbor for any residential area, and whether we don't have any industrial zone for this kind of facility. And few organization and government say about the EPZ or others, but there are also some regulation problem, and you have to consider that the investment of a garment factory industry and the sorting company is not the equal. So the affordability is not equal for these two industry. So setting up problem, I mean, the land crisis is another issues. Then also we have lack of workers, and this is pathetic to say. I'm sorry to say that we cannot offer a good environment as like the garment factory offer their workers, because end of the day we are dealing waste, and dealing waste is very tough to maintaining the cleanliness and other issues. So in this industry also have the lack of worker crisis. Then another thing is we cannot load the container from our warehouses. I mean, from our premises, we have to load the material in vehicle, and that vehicle goes to the port and depot, as this is not impacting, I mean, in such kind of high value material. That's why the port authority don't give a concentration, spatial concentration on that. And that's why the most of the cases are material damaged by handling, by rain and some other issues. So logistic is also a problem. If we could, when most of the cases, the foreign customer compare us that they're from this country, the material is good, but when we inquiry the different cases why the quality of material not meet that kind of, and some cases we found that the logistic problem, if we could load the container from our factory premises or warehouses premises, then it would be clean and mostly clean and in a good environment. So logistic is also a hurdle for us. And besides these issues, we have more other issues. I mean, the bank interest rate, you know, we, in our business, I mean, for a sorting business, the profit margin is very, very low. So by giving 15 or 16% interest to bank in a commercial bank, we cannot afford this kind of business when we need investment also in this business. So bank interest rate, then we have tax issues, I mean, source tax. You see, in Bangladesh taxes authority sometimes asking the source tax from ourselves, but if I think Rizvan know this industry very well, nobody practice. And if I want to do practice for the taxing, I don't know from where I will collect and where I will give. And this is not the perfect, and time is not the perfect for practicing this if I have willingness to do that. So this is the reality. And some other issues like political influences. And yeah, I think these are the main issues and the biggest issues for ensuring a high quality full material in a big scale for the recycler. Thank you.
Okay, so running a sorting company is not an easy task. So you need some support from the factories so that they pre-sorted the materials so you can easily handle them. And you need some logistic supports and banking supports. I guess our government will pay some attention to reform this sorting industry to make people invest in this industry more, right?
Yeah, we hope so.
Okay, so we can get some investment in this company if the infrastructure or the logistics are properly regulated, right, sir?
Yes.
I would like to ask the question, a common question actually to all of you. So, one single group, if you can mandate a single global change, I would say it can be a regulation or a technology or a standard or a collaborative initiative that would accelerate textile circularity worldwide in the next 5 years. What it can be? If I start with Ibrahim Sajib, sir.
Yeah, if I say it from my side, I expect the revelation of, or the can say revelation from the chemical recycling. When we know about we know about the ReCIRCLE, unfortunately, the first chemical recycler in the world. I mean, the textile industry, and unfortunately, they bankrupted. But there are a few others chemical recycler now is working, but not in the production phase, in R&D phase and sampling phase. So I wish if they make their journey within a very short time, I mean next 1 or 2 years. And of course, I hope they won't, their faith won't be same like ReCIRCLE. And most importantly, they will provide the raw material in a very cheap price. if they can do that, then there will be a revolution in textile recycling industry.
Okay, thank you, sir. So I'd like to go to Mr. Nixon, sir. So what change you are expecting to boost up this recycling industry?
Before exactly going to that answering your question, I have been listening very carefully Mr. Sajib difficulties as well as Mr. Rizvan Hassan's. So that is the basic challenge we have to face in the next couple of decades, what basically they're addressing. But this industry, I said that it was very old, 100 years old, and I have this opportunity to visit other countries. I think so all of us have opportunities, especially in China, India, as well as Turkey. There are three biggest hubs if you are thinking about recycling. So their perspective is totally different. They're not been that much more bothered on the compositions, as I'm exactly answering Mr. Rizvan Hassan, that we have been found that whenever they're addressing the leveling, they said it was a 30% cotton, 60% polyester, and rest is mixed material. So they are not been bothering on that. And the brands are accepting that because they are selling with that. And that same challenges whenever we are thinking for the shorting issues. In China, I personally walk a lot of miles to see what basically they are doing. And I have found they are collecting all this garbage, storing in a single place. And then after, sometimes they took for the decolorizations and they decolorize it and go for that, shredding and making the fiber. There are a lot of mixed materials as there, and they can sell it in a different values and different ranges. So now I'm coming to answering the question that yes, the next few more decades, you especially said the 5 years, but I think so this next few more decades we have to push for this creation a global textile circularity alliance, what I said, because unless creating that platform, we cannot make understand the recyclers, brands, policymakers, and technology providers to understand the challenges, and we cannot make the regulatory and supply chain barriers that currently hold as a back. As we are in Bangladesh, I can say something about the Bangladesh perspectives. Our biggest challenges is right now of the lack of technology, and is the lack of system alignment. Not on the lack of technology, the system alignment is not there. We have a strong mechanical recycling capabilities right now, whatever it is, at a huge volume of textile waste, but policy gaps and import barriers and that export barriers prevent us from the assessing post-consumer waste that could help a closed-loop fiber productions. I would therefore advocate the global policy framework that removes trade barriers for recycled textile waste under strict environmental controls, encourages shred technology standards for fiber identification, traceability, and quality benchmarking, and also incentivize local innovations through AI-driven material sorting, digital fiber passport, and data sharing among the recyclers and brands. Bangladesh, one of the second largest apparel export, can then move from the being just a production hub to become a circular innovation hub, what I believe. So the unified global circularity platform connecting policy, technology, and trade to make the textile recycling efficient, transparent, and truly borderless within the next few years. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Nixon, sir. I would like to go to Mr. Sabri, sir, for your answer that what change you are expecting.
As far as I'm concerned regarding the chemical industry, I hope that in the next year, other players like us, like Erca, go in the same way to produce product based on recycled material to increase the circularity in the chemical industry, to help also the industrial in garment to not only to produce product based on recycled material, but also to treat these articles with more sustainable product, means recycled materials.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Sabri sir. I would like to go to Mr.
Thank you.
Rizvan Hasan sir to answer the common question that a global mandate, a change, a technology standard or collaborative initiative, what you are expecting to boost the recycling industry?
My answer will go along with Nixon Bhai. How Nixon Bhai addressed one of the problems is like for the other countries, India, Turkey, China, they don't care that much about these compositions. And one of the main reasons are because they can sell in their local market as well. If a poor people in India or China, they can wear a product, any denim or any shirt or any t-shirt, they don't care about the composition because any composition they can get in cheap. That's the benefit for both, for the industry that they can bring the wastage to circularity, and for the people that they can get the product and cheap. And also I have seen that they declare their compositions in this way, that 95% cotton plus 5% others. No one knows that what this others is. No one even care. However, imagine if you can clearly declare the composition, how much additional value you can get. And of course, we will follow the other countries, but if our plan is always to follow them, then we'll always be behind. Now, with the latest technology, it's time that we can not only add new value, but create new value. And with this dream of me and Nixon Bhai, that all the materials that we cannot confirm which composition it is, but still we need to use them, and we can only do them if we can increase the awareness that why circularity is needed, why sustainability is needed. So if there is one change I would do and I would expect, is that the knowledge and the learning of sustainability should be mandatory for every educated person in Bangladesh, not even in Bangladesh, possibly full world, because we are destroying our own world. And this circularity movement will not go through if the public don't have a demand to use a recycled product. Maybe manufacturer can generate less waste, maybe recyclers can recycle more waste, but if there are no demands from consumers to the brands that we want to buy recycled products, then brands will not place order, and then recyclers will have no place to deliver. So at the end, it finishes to the demand of the consumers. And when and why a consumer would want to use a recycled product? Only if they know that how it is really necessary. At this moment, you cannot go to the Narayanganj. You will see all the water is polluted. It's being black. You can see any many places that places has been landfilled and other issues. All because we have a common practice to utilize the waste. We have our honorable waste handlers like Sajib Bhai. These people are are recycling waste for generations. This is why still this place is little bit livable. Otherwise, if we didn't have these waste handlers, we didn't have any recycling facilities, imagine the whole country would be flooded with waste. So all we need is to learn and understand why circularity works. And I believe like this should be mandatory, maybe in SSC level or A levels, this kind of levels. By then we can expect that when this generation will grow up in their mature stage, they will work for the sustainability and make the planet green again. That's my take. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Rizvan Hasan, sir. So we are almost at the end of today's ReCIRCLE episode. Thank you everyone for joining today's session of ReCIRCLE by TextSPACE. As Bangladesh stands as the world's second largest apparel exporter, it holds enormous potential in textile recycling. However, that potential often goes untapped due to limited policy support, lack of system alignment, and insufficient understanding of recycled end products. Currently, Bangladesh mainly focuses on pre-consumer waste, but only 15% of it is actually recycled. The rest is either exported or ends up in landfills. With the introduction of the EU's extended producer responsibility and digital product passport policies, the global trend toward recycling is on the rise. And Bangladesh needs to prepare for that shift. Moving forward, post-consumer waste should also be part of Bangladesh recycling strategy. To make this transition possible, collaboration is the key. We need support from technology pioneers, innovators, and industry practitioners, along with efforts to raise consumer awareness about sustainable products. TextSPACE today aims to serve this purpose, creating a space for continuous knowledge sharing through its media platform and initiatives like these ReCIRCLE sessions. Thank you again for watching, and we will see you in the next episode.